The Ford Ranger is undoubtedly a great truck with so many strengths, but before you sign anything, make sure to check out this video that explains 7 problems with Ford's midsize truck that could easily change your mind. Number 7. Pricing strategy doesn't add up. When you start comparing prices across the mid-sized truck segment, the Ranger is going to cost you more than most alternatives for similar capability. Base models might seem competitive at first glance, but once you start looking at comparable trims with equivalent features, the numbers tell a different story. The Lariat Super Crew, for example, is pushing into price territory where full-size F-150 models are starting to look like better value propositions. Here's where this pricing problem becomes real. Imagine you're trying to justify the purchase to yourself or your family. You're spending mid-size money, but getting dangerously close to what full-size trucks cost, and those full-size options are offering more interior space, more power, and often better towing numbers for just a few $1,000s more. The Lariat V6 variant is priced remarkably close to the Ranger Raptor in some markets, which creates genuine confusion about what you're actually paying for. Meanwhile, Chevy Colorado and Nissan Frontier buyers are walking away with comparable capability at lower price points, making the Ranger feel like the premium-priced option in a segment built on practical value. But paying more would be justified if the truck delivered exceptional long-term reliability, which brings us to the next concern. Number 6. Reliability concerns are piling up. Owners of the 2.3-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder are reporting issues that go beyond normal wear and tear. Overheating problems are appearing with concerning frequency, and when a truck engine overheats, you're looking at potential damage to cylinder heads and head gaskets that can cascade into expensive repairs. Oil leaks from the valve cover gasket and oil pan gasket are showing up earlier than they should, and low oil levels from these leaks are increasing the risk of catastrophic engine failure. Think about what happens when you're halfway through a job site project or towing a trailer on a long highway stretch. The last thing you need is your truck overheating or losing oil pressure, forcing you to pull over and potentially face thousands in repair bills. Timing belt problems on the 2.3-liter engine are particularly concerning because they can cause misfires in rough running. And if that timing belt fails completely, you're facing catastrophic engine damage that could total the powertrain. The 2.7-liter V6 option isn't escaping scrutiny either, with some owners experiencing rough idling and noticeable decreases in power output. Ford has issued recalls and service campaigns to address some of these concerns, but the pattern of reported issues is affecting the Ranger's reputation for the kind of long-term durability that mid-sized truck buyers expect. Of course, reliability problems are frustrating, but they're even more problematic when you can't configure the truck to meet your specific needs in the first place. Number 5. Configuration options are severely limited. Ford is offering essentially one cab and bed combination for mainstream buyers, and this lack of flexibility is going to be a deal breaker for many potential customers. Toyota Tacoma and Nissan Frontier buyers can choose from multiple configurations, including extended cabs with longer beds that maximize cargo capacity for work applications. The Ranger's approach is forcing everyone into a crew cab with a shorter bed setup, which prioritizes passenger space over cargo versatility. You're stuck either loading materials at an angle or dealing with the tailgate down hassle that makes securing your load more complicated. This one-size-fits-all strategy might work for some buyers, but it's alienating the traditionalists who need specific configurations for commercial use or heavy-duty work scenarios. The absence of a regular cab with an extended bed option means the Ranger is losing potential sales to competitors who understand that truck buyers have diverse and specific requirements. But the configuration limitations aren't the only place where Ford made choices that prioritize aesthetics over practicality. Number 4. Touchscreen dependency is becoming a problem. Modern trucks are embracing technology, but the Ranger is taking the touchscreen integration too far for practical use. Too many essential vehicle controls have been buried inside the infotainment system, creating a situation where simple adjustments require multiple screen taps and menu navigation. Picture yourself on a bumpy dirt road heading to a remote job site, and you need to adjust the climate control because dust is kicking up, and you need fresh air circulation. Instead of reaching for a physical knob you can operate by feel, you're forced to look at the screen, navigate through menus, and tap precisely while the truck bounces over ruts. This isn't just an inconvenience. Research is showing that touchscreen-heavy interfaces in vehicles are less effective and potentially less safe than traditional physical controls. The Ranger's design philosophy is prioritizing modern aesthetics over functional ergonomics, and drivers are noticing that competitors like the Toyota Tacoma are maintaining a better balance between touchscreen capabilities and physical controls. Speaking of design choices, the exterior styling is raising questions too. Number 3. Design language isn't resonating. The current generation Ranger arrived with a fresh design, but it's not generating the visual impact you'd expect from a recent redesign. The styling choices Ford made are playing it safe, and in a segment where trucks like the Tacoma and Frontier are making bold design statements, the Ranger is starting to feel conservative and understated. The front grille treatment and overall proportions are functional and align with Ford's broader design language, but they're not creating the kind of road presence that makes people turn their heads. The Tacoma, by contrast, is leveraging aggressive styling cues that appeal to buyers who want their truck to make a statement. The Ranger's design is going to satisfy owners who prioritize subtlety and brand recognition, but it's going to leave others feeling like their mid-sized truck lacks personality. This isn't just about subjective taste, it's about whether the design is going to hold up visually over the next several years, as competitors continue pushing bolder aesthetic directions that emphasize ruggedness and capability through visual cues. The Ranger's conservative approach might age well, but it's not standing out in the showroom right now. Unfortunately, the disappointments don't end with what you see on the outside. Number 2. Ride quality isn't matching expectations. Comfort is where the Ranger is facing significant criticism from owners and reviewers who've spent real time behind the wheel. The suspension setup is delivering a firmer, less refined ride compared to what you're getting from the Toyota Tacoma's more sophisticated suspension architecture. This isn't just about minor differences in comfort. It's affecting the daily driving experience in ways that accumulate over time. Consider your typical workday. You're making multiple stops, driving on mixed surfaces from smooth highways to rutted access roads, and spending hours in the seat. Every pothole jolt and rough patch translates directly through the Ranger's suspension, creating fatigue that builds throughout the day. When you're carrying heavy payloads or towing near the truck's capacity, the suspension is becoming noticeably more rigid, which translates to a harsher ride that's going to wear on you during extended use. The Tacoma's suspension system is earning praise specifically because it's managing to deliver capability without sacrificing comfort to the same degree. The Ranger's suspension choices are prioritizing capability over comfort, and while that might align with traditional truck values, it's creating a less pleasant ownership experience for buyers who need their truck to perform double duty as both workhorse and comfortable daily transportation. But the ride quality issue pales in comparison to what Ford did with the truck's core capability. Number 1. Payload capacity took a step backward. The most significant problem with the current Ranger is going to surprise many buyers. The previous generation had superior payload capacity in its top configuration, and Ford hasn't matched that capability with the new model. The older Ranger achieved a best-in-class maximum payload of 1,860 pounds in its Super Cab rear-wheel drive configuration. The current generation maxes out at 1,805 pounds for rear-wheel drive and drops to 1,711 pounds for four-wheel drive models. For anyone who's ever needed to load a pallet of concrete blocks, a full complement of roofing materials, or a bed full of heavy equipment, you understand that every pound of payload capacity matters. The previous generation's Super Cab configuration that achieved that higher payload rating is no longer available, forcing buyers into heavier crew cab configurations that inevitably reduce available payload capacity. While the Ranger is maintaining its 7,500-pound towing capacity, towing and payload serve completely different functional requirements. Towing appeals to recreational users pulling trailers and boats, but payload capacity is absolutely critical for commercial users and tradespeople who need to carry heavy materials, tools, and equipment directly in the truck bed. The Ford Ranger still holds a respectable position in the mid-sized truck market, but these 7 problems reveal a troubling pattern of compromises that affect real-world ownership. From premium pricing that doesn't match the value proposition, to reliability concerns that undermine confidence, to reduced payload capacity that reverses the progress Ford made with the previous generation, the Ranger is asking buyers to accept more limitations than its competitors demand. When you factor in the restricted configuration options, touchscreen-heavy ergonomics, uninspiring design, and firm ride quality, it becomes clear that the Ranger is falling behind rivals who are addressing these same areas more effectively. For buyers who prioritize work capability, long-term reliability, and practical functionality over brand loyalty, the current mid-sized truck landscape is offering better alternatives that deserve serious consideration. Therefore, the first thing you should do is to check out our video about the reasons why smart people are waiting for the 2026 Nissan Frontier. If you prefer an old-school design approach and an arguably better value than Ranger, then this truck should be on your shortlist. Smooth V6, various cab and bed configurations, and strong towing capacity are just some of the reasons why Frontier is a safe bet for the vast majority of mid-sized truck buyers.